There's one thing almost every man over 60 does in the bedroom, and it's costing them sensitivity. I'll show you what it is. As we move through the seasons of life, our bodies tell a story written not just in the lines on our face or the silver in our hair, but in the subtle ways we feel, move, and respond to the world around us. Some of those changes are celebrated openly, like the wisdom and clarity that age can bring. Others, however, live in quieter spaces, the parts of our lives we rarely talk about, even with those closest to us. And when it comes to our most private, intimate moments, these quiet changes can lead to questions we might hesitate to ask out loud. Questions like, is the way I've always approached self-pleasure still right for my body today? Or, why does something that once felt so natural now feel different, less intense, less satisfying, or harder to reach at all? If those thoughts have ever crossed your mind, I want you to hear this. You are far from alone. In fact, these are some of the most common, yet least discussed, concerns I hear from my male patients over 60. And the reason they're rarely talked about is simple. Many men were never given permission to explore this part of themselves openly, much less to adapt it as their body changes. So today, we're going to do something that for many will feel completely new. We're going to have this conversation without embarrassment, without shame, and without judgment. We're going to treat it as what it truly is, a matter of health and self-care, just as important as your diet, your sleep, or your exercise routine. This isn't about keeping up with the version of yourself you were at 25, nor is it about performing to some imagined standard. It's about something deeper. Protecting your circulation, supporting the health of your prostate, keeping your hormone balance steady, and nurturing a positive, confident relationship with your own body. I want you to think of self-pleasure not just as a sexual act, but as a form of maintenance, a natural, low-effort way to keep important systems in your body functioning at their best. And the research here is clear. Done correctly, it offers real, measurable benefits: circulatory health, gentle self-stimulation keeps fresh, oxygen-rich blood flowing into the tissues of the penis. This nourishes the cells, keeps blood vessels elastic, and maintains overall function. Prostate support. It encourages the regular, healthy release of prostatic fluid, which helps prevent stagnation and reduces the risk of certain prostate issues. Hormonal balance. The act itself lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, which in excess can damage your heart, impair your immune system, and even suppress testosterone. Nervous system reset. It engages your parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for relaxation and recovery, which is why many men report better sleep afterward. When we look at it from this perspective, we see that self-pleasure, especially in later years, is not only normal, it's genuinely good for you. But here's the part most men overlook. Your body today is not the body you had 30 or 40 years ago. And I say that not to diminish you, but to free you from an unfair comparison. In your 20s, your skin was thicker, your nerve endings fired almost instantly, and your blood vessels could handle a wide range of pressures without strain. Your recovery time was quick, and sensitivity was often heightened simply by the abundance of hormones flowing through your system. But as the decades pass, biology changes the landscape. Skin becomes thinner and more fragile. The outer layer loses some of its protective cushioning. Nerve response slows. The same touch may take longer to register, and stimulation that once felt electric now feels muted. Blood vessels become more reactive. This means they may constrict more easily under pressure or strain, reducing blood flow right when you need it most. And here's the key takeaway. None of this is a personal failing. It's not a sign of weakness or loss of masculinity. It's simply the body's way of aging. But if you try to use the same techniques you used decades ago without adjustment, you may actually be working against your own health. Which is why today, I want to walk you through the 3 biggest mistakes men tend to make after 60, and the practical, science-backed fixes that can restore comfort, sensitivity, and pleasure. Mistake number 1, rushing through the experience. Think back to when you first started exploring self-pleasure. Chances are you didn't have much privacy. Maybe you were a teenager living at home, or a young man sharing space with roommates. Time was limited, interruptions were likely, and the habit you developed was to be quick and discreet. The problem is, after years, sometimes decades, this get-it-done-fast habit becomes hardwired. The nervous system begins to associate self-touch with urgency, tension, and goal-chasing, rather than relaxation. And here's why that matters more with age. When you rush, your body stays in a state of low-grade alertness, what we call sympathetic nervous system activation. Your muscles tense, your breathing becomes shallow, and your blood vessels constrict rather than open. The result? Less nourishing blood flow, less sensation, and sometimes even soreness afterward. Over time, your body may find it harder to respond at all because it never learns to fully relax into the experience. The solution? Deliberately slow down. Even adding 3 to 5 minutes can make a profound difference. Before you begin, pause, take slow, deep breaths. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw. This tells your nervous system, we are safe, we can relax. In that state, your blood vessels open, sensation deepens, and the experience becomes far more satisfying. This one is incredibly common, and it often develops without a man even realizing it. Here's how it happens. As sensitivity naturally decreases with age, the instinct can be to compensate by gripping tighter, moving faster, or applying more direct force in order to trigger the same level of sensation you once felt. At first, it might seem like this works. After all, you may get the response you were looking for. But over time, something else begins to happen. Your body starts to adapt to this very specific, high-intensity stimulation. This is sometimes referred to as death grip syndrome, a term that sounds dramatic, but it describes exactly what's going on. The brain learns to only respond to one particular kind of stimulation, often one that's more intense than what a partner could comfortably provide. The soft, sponge-like tissues inside the penis are repeatedly compressed, which can affect blood vessel flexibility. The thousands of nerve endings designed to respond to subtle, varied sensation get overstimulated in one narrow pattern, leading to desensitization. Think of it like listening to loud music through headphones every day. Over time, you may need to turn the volume up higher and higher just to hear the same detail in the sound. The nerves in your ears aren't broken. They've just adapted to constant intensity. The same is true here. The risks of too much pressure over time include reduced sensitivity, making it harder to enjoy lighter touch, irritation or tiny unseen micro tears in the skin, possible inflammation that can make future touch uncomfortable or even painful. The solution? Ease up, literally. If loosening your grip feels strange at first, that's okay. Your body might need time to retrain itself. Use a high-quality, unscented, natural lubricant, not because something is wrong, but because it reduces friction, protects the skin, and allows more glide with less force. This is where presence matters more than pressure. Focus on what you feel in the moment, not on how quickly you can reach a goal. Think of it as exploring the landscape rather than racing to the destination. Over time, this gentler approach reawakens those nerve endings, restores sensitivity, and makes you more responsive to all types of touch, including with a partner. Ignoring the emotional side of self-pleasure. Here's the part that most conversations about male sexual health leave out entirely. Your mind and emotions are not separate from your body. They are deeply, biologically intertwined with your arousal and sexual function. For many men, self-pleasure is treated purely as a mechanical act, something physical, disconnected from emotion. But in reality, your thoughts, your memories, your stress levels, and even your self-image all have a direct effect on your physical response. Some men carry a sense of shame, often planted in childhood, around masturbation, believing it's dirty, wrong, or something to hide. Others experience frustration or even grief about the natural changes that come with aging, slower arousal, a softer belly, or the extra time needed to reach climax. These feelings don't simply go away because you ignore them. They live in the body. Chronic stress or negative self-talk can cause your pelvic muscles to hold tension, your breathing to stay shallow, and your blood flow to be restricted, all of which work against the very experience you're trying to enjoy. Over months or years, these quiet emotional undercurrents can lead to performance anxiety, even when alone, a sense of disconnection from your body, gradual loss of desire, not because the body can't respond, but because the heart doesn't feel safe enough to relax into the experience. The solution: treat your emotional state as an essential part of the process. Before you begin, check in with yourself. How do you feel? Stressed? Distracted? Self-critical? Replace judgment with compassion. Remind yourself, this is not about proving anything. This is about caring for myself. When you let go of self-criticism, you create the conditions for your body to respond naturally and fully. Understanding the bigger picture. By now, you can see that these three mistakes, rushing, too much pressure, and ignoring the emotional side, aren't just small habits. They're patterns that, over time, can affect your sensitivity, your pleasure, and your overall sexual health. Correcting them isn't about depriving yourself. It's about retraining your body and mind to work together again. And the beautiful part is, your body is remarkably adaptive. With the right approach, you can restore sensation, comfort, and confidence at any age. A natural boost many men overlook. Now that you understand the why and how behind improving your approach, let's talk about something that can complement these changes, something that works on the root cause of declining performance in many men over 50. What I'm about to share is not a pill, not a pump, and not some complicated routine. It's a surprisingly simple, completely natural home remedy that takes just 7 seconds a day. Here's why it matters. For many men, the real reason for weaker, less frequent, or less spontaneous erections isn't just age. It's restricted blood flow caused by tiny blockages in the microvessels that supply the penis. You might feel healthy overall, but if those vessels aren't delivering oxygen-rich blood efficiently, performance naturally declines. This remedy works by helping those blood vessels relax, clear, and open up again, allowing nutrient-rich blood to flow where it needs to go, naturally, without forcing it. And because it works at the source, the results don't just help you in intimate moments. They can also benefit your cardiovascular health, energy levels, and even mood. It's been a quiet game changer for tens of thousands of men, many of whom had all but given up on reclaiming the kind of responsiveness they enjoyed in their younger years. If you want to see how it works, simply open the camera on your phone right now and point it at the QR code you see on your screen. It will take you directly to a short, eye-opening video that walks you through the science in detail. If you're watching on a device where that's tricky, I've pinned the direct link right at the top of the comments section under this video. Bringing it all together, your healthy self-care routine. While that natural remedy can give your body an extra boost, your daily habits still matter a lot. So let's take everything we've covered today and turn it into a simple, repeatable framework that keeps your sexual health strong for years to come. Set the stage, create an environment where you feel safe, calm, and unhurried. Privacy is key, whether that means closing a door, dimming the lights, or choosing a time of day when you won't be interrupted. Think of it like setting the table before a good meal. The preparation signals to your mind and body that something enjoyable is coming. Be mindful. Before you even touch yourself, pause. Take a few deep, slow breaths. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and exhale for a count of 6. Feel your body relax from the top of your head down to your toes. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which allows blood to flow more freely and sensitivity to increase. Be gentle. Use a natural, body-safe lubricant, not because something is wrong, but because it reduces unnecessary friction and allows a lighter, more varied touch. Experiment with different speeds, rhythms, and pressure, always erring on the side of less force. Pay attention to subtle sensations. They often grow stronger when you're not overwhelming your nerve endings. Listen to your body. If something feels uncomfortable, stop or adjust. Notice when your mind starts to wander or when old habits creep in, like rushing or gripping too tightly. Treat this as a conversation with your body, not a performance. When you follow these steps, self-pleasure stops being just a release and becomes a form of restoration. You're not just chasing a momentary high, you're actively nourishing your sexual health, your circulation, and your emotional connection to yourself. I want to leave you with this. Changing the way you approach self-pleasure as you age is not about loss. It's not about making do with less. It's about evolving into a phase of life where pleasure can be deeper, richer, and more satisfying. If you're willing to meet your body where it is now, you are not broken. You are not past your prime. You are entering a stage where you can experience intimacy with yourself and with others in a way that's grounded in self-respect, patience, and wisdom. So try these changes. Notice how your body responds. And if you want to supercharge the process, don't forget to check out that 7-second natural method in the pinned comment. It could be the missing piece you've been looking for. If today's conversation has been helpful, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss future insights here on Desire and Energy After 50.